Hey everyone, welcome
Hello.
back. This is episode 2 of the Cool Epic Awesome podcast. I'm your co-host Matt. I'm joined by
Hey, Joe.
so yeah, all right, let's get into it. We have a few things we wanted to talk about today. We both went to see Thor: Love and Thunder, so we'll talk about that. Joe,
Yeah.
did you see it twice or no?
No, I was gonna go today, but I ended up not going.
All right, yeah, so I think we have a little bit of mixed feelings on that.
Yeah.
I think our opinions differ a bit.
Do you want to go first? You want?
Yeah, I could go first.
Yeah.
So, I really enjoyed the movie. I'm a big fan of Taika, who directed it, and I'm all for that jokiness. I understand people saying, "Oh, they sacrifice story for jokes. It's going too far off the deep end with the stuff," but I'm that's my type of humor, the dumb stuff. So I enjoyed that aspect. What did you think, Joe?
I mean, I like Taika too. I enjoy the humor, but I feel like it was just overbearing at times. Like, especially with Gore, because like he was such a cool villain. Like, and to have Christian Bale come to do an MCU project, like I would have never thought he would do something. Like he's called Gore the God Butcher, but he like kills all the gods off screen. Like I kind of wanted to see him just go through like all the different like gods in the MCU and just slaughter everybody. He really isn't in the movie that much.
Yeah, I think that would have been something they easily could have added. Just a scene
Hmm.
of him maybe going around, a little montage of him killing a bunch of gods. All
Yeah,
the cool stuff
all
it seemed that he did was off screen, like cutting Sif's arm off. They didn't even show that. So
yeah, just wait like wasted potential. I feel like
yeah, and one of my biggest problems with the movie is how short it is. And I know 2 hours isn't necessarily short, but for a film that's trying to do so much,
too much. Yeah,
bringing back Jane, going through the storyline of her having cancer, and also
I
establishing Gore, who's a brand new villain. It's kind of 2 hours is a little low, I think. What do you think?
yeah, especially like you said with all the plot lines going on. And I like I like Jane Foster's story actually a lot. I was kind of upset how they like ended her character off. I mean, this with MCU, like, there's always possibility for something in the future, but like, they kind of made her like a fish out of like, because usually she's supposed to be like the smartest person in the room, and all the, like she's a renowned scientist, and like now for the first time, like she's the person like the fish out of water with being a superhero. So it's cool to see that dynamic of her.
Yeah,
Um,
I really liked her character, and I think Natalie Portman did a great job with what she was given.
yeah, her and Gore were both. I mean, not that I didn't like Thor or Valkyrie, but they were both them were the both the best performers in the
Yeah.
movie. And you could tell, like, at this point with Thor, with I can't think of his name.
Oh,
Who plays Thor? I can't think of his name.
oh, Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth. Like, you could tell he's having a lot of fun with it. Like, he's just, you know, like he's doing
Yeah.
it for 10 years. Like, you could tell. Like, you can kind of tell when like somebody has fun when they're filming a movie, like with their character. I think he's actually an executive producer on this one too.
Yeah, I think I saw something that he didn't produce the entire, well, obviously Kevin Feige is the one producing everything, but he definitely helped out in that
Yeah.
aspect. Um, yeah, I don't know. Did you think they did a good job of balancing it though? Because I know there's a lot of comedy, but there's also the darker aspects, especially with Gore's character. They go kind of
Yeah.
dark in some places.
I feel like they should have, because it's either the movie's like really funny and they're cracking jokes, or like Gore is killing gods, or Jane is dying of cancer. So I feel like it's kind of a little unbalanced, like you said. Like some moments, like they didn't need to be a joke. Like I understand it's a rom com, like it's a comedy, like and it's fine like that. But I thought there should be like, especially with Gore, like more like Thor's like about to die, and he's like cracking jokes. Like I feel like I don't know, like it's like a really serious thing. Like it wouldn't be like it's okay to be funny in it, but like some moments just take like a little more seriously.
Yeah, and that's where I think Ragnarok did it a lot better than this one
Yeah, I agree.
because I feel like in that when it got serious for for however long it needed to. And this, it was only serious if there was a serious moment, like when they're talking about Jane having cancer and literally dying throughout the movie without anything, like she can't really do anything to stop it. And
Yeah.
then the next scene will be like goats screaming or something.
Yeah, it's just
So it's yeah, you have to find that balance, and I feel like they struggled a little bit.
like I don't think it was a bad film. Like it's definitely one of the better films in the MCU. Like it's
Yeah,
in the top half of the MCU films, but like it's not like anything special.
yeah. Like I said, I honestly loved it. The thing that took me out of it the most, though, I would say, is the ending. And this is going into spoilers, I guess, just in case anyone didn't see it yet. But so what happens at the end is Gore wants to get to eternity, which is some god. It's like a god of gods in Marvel or whatever. So once you get to eternity, you get granted one wish. So the whole movie, they're just trying to stop him from getting there because they think, oh, like once he gets to eternity, he's gonna wish that all gods die. So Thor will die, whatever, everyone's gonna die. So he gets there, and then Thor talks to him for like 30 seconds, gives him a 30-second speech, and he just completely has a change of heart and is like,
Yeah.
you know what, never mind. I'm gonna wish for my daughter to be alive. And not only am I gonna wish for her to be alive, but I'm gonna give her to you. He gives his daughter to Thor, who he was just trying to kill about 10 minutes ago. They were both trying to kill each other. Then he's like, okay, you raise my daughter.
Yeah.
And it makes no sense, in my
I
opinion.
mean, him. Here's the thing with like him being like he doesn't hate Thor. It's more just like he's a god, so he has to die. It's not like a personal like it's not like Loki. You know how Loki like hates Thor, like he hates everything about it. Well, now like when Loki was first introduced
Yeah.
with Gore, it's more just he's going after the god. So like it's not like he hates him. It's just like he kind of just he has to kill him. So I don't like I kind of understood that a little bit. I mean, it still kind of doesn't make sense, but like it's not like he like hates him and he just wants to kill him. It's more just like part of like his goal.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know. It kind of turned me off. I was about to be like, I love this movie. I don't get what's the problem with it, and then that ending kind of just threw me off completely. And now Thor's gonna have some daughter that's not even his. Just she's gonna have to be with him every time he appears again in the MCU, and
Yeah, I don't
it's
know
just
what they're gonna
yeah,
what they're gonna do with that. I have no idea. I mean, I'm
yeah,
sure it'll be interesting to see like maybe he'll get a little more serious now because he has a daughter.
yeah. And they're gonna make. I'm assuming they're probably gonna do Thor 5 because this, even though people are saying, oh, like this is one the MCU doesn't know what they're doing anymore or whatever, it still made like for opening weekend, I think 400 million at the box
I
office.
think like this weekend it did bad.
Yeah, but it did bad in when you put it into perspective with other films, not really. I think it made like 42 million domestically the second weekend, which is a drop. I think it dropped off about 65%, which is pretty
Yeah.
bad. But it's probably still number one this week, if I had to guess. Most movies can't even open with 40 million. So
Yeah.
that's the thing with the MCU though, is no matter what they produce, people are still gonna go see it, even if it gets bad reviews, even if it
Oh yeah,
is
it doesn't
genuinely
really.
bad. So yeah, I'm trying to think. I had some. Oh yeah, what did you think of that scene at the end where Thor just gives all those kids his powers?
I didn't mind that.
Yeah, I didn't mind
I
that
felt like
either.
that was like really Taika.
Yeah,
But like he had his input in.
yeah, it
Like
was very.
that
It
was like
was
screaming Taika Waititi. Like I don't think like if he wasn't directing that film, they probably wouldn't have done a scene like that.
yeah. I like how it got campy in times like that.
But that's
But
fine. Like I'm fine with that because it's a comic book movie. Like there should be campy moments.
yeah, I could definitely understand why people wouldn't like that though,
Oh yeah.
especially
Hmm.
when you go back to how the original Thor movies were, and now there's this resurgence of people on Twitter saying, "Oh, I miss Thor from Thor: The Dark World." Meanwhile,
Oh yeah. No, I
everyone
saw
was
those. Yeah.
shitting on those movies like less than a year ago. So
Yeah.
there's
I don't.
still
That always happens though. I feel like with movies, like um, whenever like they change the character, They hated on the character originally, and then now when there's a different version, they don't like that version. Like, oh, like I missed the original one.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't it's weird because I don't see how anyone could look at Thor: The Dark World and be like, "This is better than Love
I
and
think
Thunder."
more like because they took more like the mythology and shit like more serious. But listen, like he was fucking boring, honestly. Like in the
Yeah.
first two movies, like I really don't even remember like the second one is what like Dark Elves or something. Like I don't even remember what the fuck it was
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, it's the whole thing where they get the Aether or whatever, it goes and it infects Jane, remember?
Oh yeah,
That was then they
it's
revealed
just
an Infinity
boring.
Stone. Yeah, it was
Like
boring.
Ragnarok is probably one of the best. It's probably arguably one of the best movies that they've made. Marvel.
Yeah. It's
And
definitely
it's
top 15, top 10 at
yeah,
least.
and it's not even like it doesn't even take itself like super seriously like the first two movies do. And
Yeah.
that's fine. Like I don't know.
Yeah, and people loved it.
Yeah,
So,
I wonder what they're gonna do. Well, now too, like going into the future with his daughter, they also have Hercules now.
yeah. And yeah, I was going to talk about that. So, there's two post-credit scenes. The first one, it's revealed that Thor didn't actually kill Zeus in the movie, which you're led to believe that he kills Zeus earlier. So the post-credit scene, Zeus comes back and he's like, "Oh, like we have to go get revenge on Thor," and he's like, "Right, son," or whatever. And then it camera pans to Hercules,
Yeah,
who's I forget who plays him, but it's some
it's
guy
the
from
guy from Ted Lasso.
yeah. Who I mean, I haven't seen Ted Lasso. On Twitter, people were reacting very positively to the casting.
Yeah,
So
I kind
but
of
yeah,
want Henry Cavill to be Hercules, but with him with The Witcher, like it's probably never gonna happen.
yeah. Yeah, and Hercules, I don't know much about his character at all. I'm not sure if he's loved in the comics or not. I don't know if you know anything.
Apparently, he has a pretty like extensive like history in the Like I don't know, I never read any of like his stuff or like know much about him, but apparently he's pretty like in the comics he's popular.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely looks cool. The costume is very
Yeah, the
comics
costume's
accurate,
sick.
and it's really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then since we're talking about
What's
the
the
post credit
what was the
scenes,
other post credit scene?
the next post credit scene is so spoilers, but at the end of the movie, Natalie Portman's Thor ends up dying because it's revealed that every time she wields Mjolnir, her cancer just what is it? It works more rapidly or something.
So her like when she's has the hammer, like all her energy's going into being Thor, so her body can't fight it.
Okay, yeah. So basically, it's kind of dark. She she basically every time she's holding the hammer, she's dying, and that she can't prevent herself from dying, which is yeah, it's really dark when you start to think about it. But yeah, so she ends up having to choose at the end because Thor's gonna die. He told her, "Listen, like don't pick up the hammer again. I'm going to fight Gore myself." But she ends up saying, "Fuck it. Like I have to go save Thor even if I die." Takes the
Yeah.
hammer, goes. And she ends up dying, yeah. So the post credit scene is her in Valhalla, which is in what is it, in Norse mythology, it's the
North Mythology
heaven.
is heaven, yeah.
And she sees Heimdall there, who died in Infinity War. So I don't know what it's setting up. I don't know if it's just saying, oh, it's like a happy ending for her. Or what did you think about that?
Um I'm assuming like in another Thor project or something they'll end up going to Valhalla. And that's like I don't know if they'll bring her back, but I guess they're just saying like that she does still like I guess exist in the world that they're in, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Like she's still out there. Didn't Heimdall say he guards Valhalla?
I don't remember what he said, honestly. But yeah, that opens up a bunch though, because Loki's probably up there, honestly. Or at least the
Well, that
MCU's
well,
version of Loki,
yeah.
the main
Actually,
timeline.
probably not. Honestly, he probably went to hell.
You think so?
Damn.
But he tried to kill Thanos. He died in battle technically,
Yeah, but
and
he also
he was
like
good. I feel like he was good by that point. You know?
yeah, but I feel like the shit he did before was way worse.
You think Marvel would chuck him in hell though? I don't know.
I don't know. Well, I mean, um, I don't know. Speaking of Loki though, did you see they had the first like set photos come out?
Yeah, I did.
There was
I don't
there
know.
was like
It
the
doesn't reveal
movie.
much, but
Yeah, it was one of them was like a 1970s McDonald's, and then the other one was
mhm.
like some British movie. But I mean, it's all Owen Wilson's character, and then Sylvia. I don't think they've cast like any new characters in it, right?
They actually just did, I think.
Really?
Someone, yeah, I forget which show. It's a random guy. I've never heard of him, but someone was just cast as a major
Did
role.
they say who he's playing or not?
No, not yet. I don't know what they're gonna do in that show,
I
but
know the Moon Knight directors are doing it.
oh really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
cool.
that what's her name? I don't know the name of the director who did the first one, but um, I know that the Moon Knight directors are the one they got season two.
Yeah, and honestly, talking about Loki, I think that's a big reason why this one wasn't as good as Ragnarok. I feel like Loki's presence was definitely missed. He's a great side character to have.
Yeah, I feel like the side characters and like because they had Hulk, Valkyrie, and Loki as side characters, and
Yeah, and
now
also
it's
other people like the Grandmaster was there too.
yeah, yeah. And wasn't he gonna be in it? The Grandmaster was gonna
Yeah.
be in it. Um, the guy from Endgame, I forgot his name. Oh no, Infinity War. Sorry, the guy who makes the weapon.
Oh,
But
Peter Dinklage's
yeah,
character.
his character, and then there was another character, but she got caught too. But I forgot. It's another actress from Game of Thrones, but she got
Yeah.
caught.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird because they have all these. I'm sure people would love the Grandmaster, like seeing him come back,
Yeah,
and
he's
people like
but
Peter Dinklage too. So his character would have been cool to see.
yeah, I
And
don't know why they caught
it's
him.
not like the movie's pushing 3 hours and they couldn't put it in.
Yeah, like
So
another 5 minutes isn't gonna.
yeah. Let me think. If one thing I thought was funny. I don't know if you enjoyed this joke because did you like the comedy overall or not really?
I think it was all right.
Did
I
you
don't
like
know
the
if it,
whole like jealous hammer thing?
that was kind of funny. Yeah, I like that. I actually liked.
Yeah, I thought that was mad funny. I actually found myself laughing like throughout.
Like the scenes, like the way they would cut it, like the hammer like floating towards him. That was actually I forgot about that actually.
Yeah,
That was
like
funny.
remember the first when they're in like the town hall or whatever, and Jane's holding the hammer. Thor starts reaching out to it, and then
Yeah, like he
Stormbreaker just
turns the
goes
corner.
onto screen. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought that was mad funny. The only like bad jokes really, I feel like was the goats. They weren't that funny,
Yeah, no, no. It felt like
but
very like 2010.
yeah. Also, another thing, what did you think about the Guardians? They were only in it for like what, 15 minutes?
I mean, I figured that was gonna what it was gonna be. I didn't
Yeah,
expect him to be in it long. Like in the
I s-
trailer, it shows them like dropping him off. So I figured like there's no way they're gonna be in this more than like 20 minutes.
yeah, I saw people complaining, but I feel like they were in it as cameos, and that's enough.
Yeah, that's it. That's all it needs to do.
So yeah, I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to say about the movie, but
Um, one thing I really did enjoy was the way I don't know if they're like his creatures, I guess, but like anytime a movie does like really like unique and creative like I don't know, they're not character like creature design. Like I really like how like they come from the shadows and they're all like fucking like the way they're like designed
and
and how he made
you're
the cake.
talking about
He made
Gore,
what?
right? You're talking about Gore, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
How he made like the cage out of the shadows and it was like the cage just like walking too. Like I thought that was really cool. And I like the
Yeah,
way they used Jane Foster's Mjolnir because like the way how it like broke apart, it comes back
it's
together.
cool.
Like yeah,
Yeah,
it made for like unique fighting scenes.
yeah. Talking about the fight, I didn't think the action was great at all. Honestly, I didn't really
A lot of
enjoy any of the
CG.
action.
Well, I
Yeah,
figured it was gonna be CG. It's mostly like Doctor
yeah,
Strange. Like the action in Doctor Strange is always sick, but everything's CG because it's magic.
yeah. I didn't mind the VFX. I know people were shitting on it on Twitter, but I feel like most of it was pretty good.
It's hit or miss. Some scenes look really good. Like when they're in like the God City, it looks sick. But then there's other scenes that just like it looks so bad.
Yeah, I know people are sharing that picture on Twitter of the Heimdall's son when his face just like
Yeah, like
appears.
I actually laughed out loud when I saw that.
Yeah, the fact that that's in a Marvel movie in 2022 is actually insane.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
so
understand
funny.
how they they let it get to that point. Like that,
Yeah.
it looked like that, and just
Yeah, what'd you think about Heimdall's son? It's kind of weird.
I mean, it was cool. I guess I don't really know. Like it's cool. I guess that he has his powers. I didn't really like.
Yeah, I feel like they just kind of had to chuck a kid in there and just so for kids, even though in reality, kids love action heroes. They don't need a kid to
Yeah,
relate
they need a
to.
kid in there. Yeah,
But
I agree.
yeah, all right. I mean, I guess that's all we really have for
Yeah,
that. Do you want to talk about who was your favorite character?
probably Gore because it's like I like when you can really like. There's two types of villains that I really like. That I feel like if you execute it right, like they come out really well. It's when like the villain like you can relate to or like you understand. Like all the best villains in Marvel, like Thanos, like you can understand why he like I'm not saying he's right, but you can see where he's coming from. So like it's a kind of like a gray area, kind of with Gore, like because most of the gods like don't give a shit about the humans. And, well, not the humans, but like people in this world, and like even like you see like his daughter died, and the gods don't give a fuck. So like you
Yeah,
understand why he does it. So that's why I feel like it makes him a great villain.
yeah. Don't you think it was a little weird though that he had this daughter that died, and he had a child obviously, and he has no problem with kidnapping and holding children for ransom.
Well, the whole point is that the sword is corrupting him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, they keep saying that during the movie, like how same thing. It's kind of similar to how like she gets weak. Jane Foster gets weak with the hammer. Like his body deteriorates.
Yeah, but
That's why
I
he
would.
dies when they break the sword.
Yeah, but would that affect like his mental state?
Yeah.
Or all right. I mean,
Because
I
think
feel
about
like that
like
wasn't.
the
Go ahead.
what
No, that wasn't explicitly stated in the movie. I feel like it wasn't like in Doctor Strange, the Darkhold. I feel like they say, "Oh, like it
I feel
corrupts
like they
their
said that it was
mind."
corrupting him.
Yeah, but not his mind. I don't think.
Well, I think I don't know with the voices and stuff. I just figured because
Yeah,
like I'm assuming he was only hearing the voices,
yeah,
so I just kind of assumed like that it was corrupting him.
yeah. I could see it. I guess, but
Yeah. Wait, what was your
yeah.
favorite character?
I wanted to say Gore. Gore. Christian Bale had the best performance out of anyone. He was great, but in terms of the character, the way they wrapped up his character and the ending, I just like didn't like it. So
Yeah.
I think my favorite character was Jane Foster probably.
Yeah,
Just
I mean they're both. Yeah,
the duality of what she had to do going from mighty Thor and then when she's in normal human form, she's literally insanely weak, has
yeah,
cancer. It's kind of like it was hard to pull off. I feel like, and I think Natalie Portman did a great job, as expected though, to be honest. But did you like her? Really?
yeah. I thought she was really good.
Yeah, I hope they find a way to bring her back, but we'll see.
They probably will. I'm assuming, like, I don't know, they wouldn't have put that little end credit scene thing if they didn't have plans for her in the future, I feel like.
Yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about Phase 4 in general?
Mm, yeah, we can touch on it. I know a lot of people are like, oh, like, they don't know what they're doing. I feel like they're just focusing more on, like, individual characters now, which I'm fine with, rather
Yeah.
than, like, expanding this, like, huge like, I don't know. They kind of just want to tell individual stories for a little bit. We just got out of Endgame. Not just got out, but like
Yeah.
they don't really need to like I know they're setting up Secret Wars for people that don't know. It's kind of like I don't even explain Secret Wars.
It's just it's like Spider-Man No Way Home, how they have the two other Spider-Mans from different universes come in. It's like that, except the
Like a
entire
whole
universe. So you
universe and like
have all these different versions of
versions.
characters coming in and fighting and whatever. I know the story in the comics also relies
This
heavily on Doctor Doom.
Doom,
And
yeah, but they're gonna probably replace Doom with Kang in this scenario. I think
yeah.
that's what they're like leading it to be.
Yeah, I found it weird a little bit how nowadays people on Twitter and in general on social media are just complaining about, oh, the MCU, nothing is connected anymore. Um, like nothing leads into the next. Meanwhile, when this first started, people were complaining, "Oh, everything has to lead into another thing. Why can't
Yeah,
these films just be by themselves. So it's kind of like no matter what you do, people
They're
are gonna
always gonna
find a way to
complain, yeah.
complain. So I've personally fall into the camp of I want everything to connect. I want there to be just 1 second cameos of another hero, even if it adds nothing to the story. I just like that kind of shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't. I just. I don't know.
It
I
just
like.
it feels like a comic book because in a
Yeah.
comic book like New York City, like they run into X-Men. Like think about like in New York, like Spider-Man, like how many in the comics, how many heroes he runs into all the time. Like
Yeah.
between the Daredevil, Fantastic Four, the event, like it's just every day. It's just So when
Yeah.
it's like that, I feel like I know what you mean. Like it just feels more like a comic.
Yeah. Did you finish Captain? Oh, Miss Marvel. I mean.
No, I haven't. I know like the big spoilers.
Yeah. So yeah. I guess I'll just mention it, but
Yeah.
spoilers for Miss Marvel. There's a post-credit scene at the end where Brie Larson shows up for a second as Captain Marvel, and she's literally in it for 3 seconds, maybe. But it's still, I was like, damn, all right. Now we know what's happening next. Captain Marvel's here. They have this movie, The Marvels, coming out that Miss Marvel's also going to be in. So it's kind of like, all right, now I know what's happening next with this character. And I feel like that's something that was missed a lot in the other shows. They would always tease, or a lot of times it's fans' faults because they theorize that
Yeah.
a character
Especially
is going to
with
show up. Go ahead.
WandaVision, I feel like was the worst of that because like everyone was like pulling for Mephisto at
Yeah.
the end, or like everyone that was or Doctor Strange. Well, I heard the Doctor Strange cameo was scheduled to happen, but just COVID, like they ended up not doing it.
Yeah. This was the first show that they actually like did that cameo that people thought was gonna happen, and I feel like it's so easy, and Marvel knows that people want this, so I don't know
I don't
why
know.
they
I
don't
feel
do it
like
more.
Loki, everyone was saying Kang.
Yeah, and he showed up. Actually, yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good point. That's a good
yeah,
point. So Loki also, and Loki's my favorite of the Disney Plus shows. So
yeah. Loki's definitely I feel like a tier above everything else. I mean, I personally really liked Moon Knight, but I love like Egyptian mythology and Oscar Isaac is my favorite actor. Like, and I've been reading Moon Knight comics like a while, so he's really different in the comics. So, but I still enjoyed it just to see, because like I never would have thought that they'd ever do a Moon Knight, like, you know,
yeah,
like it's such like a small character.
yeah.
But
I didn't. Yeah, as I've said before, I didn't love Moon Knight, but it
yeah.
still was. It was good. And if you're a fan of Moon Knight, then obviously you'll love it. But
I
yeah, so
think
I
Miss
guess
Marvel though is probably maybe honestly it might be I think it's the best written. Actually, probably Loki still. I haven't watched Loki in a while, but Miss Marvel is like really well written, like, compared to all the other shows that they have.
yeah,
Like, it's
yeah.
really honestly, the show is really good. It's just it's not really like it's about, like it's like a girl in high school, so it's not really like
Yeah, it was a little bit too Disney Channel-y for me,
yeah,
but I still thought it was good. Yeah, all right. You wanna? So that's basically all we got for Thor: Love and Thunder.
yeah.
I still. Oh, what would you give it? What would you rate it? Oh wait, no, wait, hold
Uh,
on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We have one more thing.
well,
What was your favorite scene?
probably that battle on, um, that little rock when they were fighting, like, the giant creatures and,
Yeah,
like, it went to black. I thought that was pretty cool.
yeah. Mine is similar. My favorite scene was. Do you remember when they first get there and Gore has all of them just wrapped up and he's like choking Jane Foster and he's telling Thor, he's like, call
Yeah,
your hammer, and he wouldn't do it. And he's like, he was so menacing in that. I thought that scene was awesome.
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's 16.
Yeah, I wish they would have sort of delved into that a little more. How scary and menacing Gore could be. But
Yeah, but, they really didn't, like that's what I'm saying, like, they underutilized him.
yeah. All right. So what would you give it?
I gave it a 3.5, 3.5 out of 5. I mean, I really like some moments, but, like, the comedy just was too much at points, so I just, like
Yeah.
I kinda give it a 3.5.
I'm probably a little biased, but I would give it a 4 out of 5 just because
Yeah,
I love Taika and I love Natalie Portman, and I pretty much knew going in I was gonna enjoy it.
yeah,
I was a little bit disappointed, but it still wasn't enough for me to dislike the movie.
yeah, yeah.
So, alright. So I guess we can move on and talk about, some news in Hollywood and in the movie and TV sphere. Joe, I wanted to talk about so we posted on the Instagram page our first look at the movie Amsterdam that has a stacked cast, which it's Margot Robbie,
Yeah.
um, Anya Taylor-Joy. You can check it out on Instagram. Christian Bale's in it also, but it's directed by David O. Russell, who has I think he's a great director, but he has a bunch of allegations. I don't. Do you know a little bit about it, Joe? Or-
Um, I've heard stuff like about. I haven't heard anything good about him, like in terms of his personal life. I don't know exactly what, but I've just heard like really shady stuff.
Yeah. So apparently he assaulted his niece or his nephew or something. I'm not entirely sure. If you're more interested, just Google David O. Russell. But I just kind of wanted to ask, um, what do you think about enjoying media from people who have bad track records, whether they have accusations or they've been arrested or whatever it may be? Do you
I
still
mean,
find that you can enjoy that type of
it
movie?
depends on what, like, so like for example, like Robert Downey Jr. was he's a drug addict at one point in his life, and like he turned his life around, and you know, like that
Yeah.
stuff is a little like I'm fine with whatever, like that's like their personal stuff. But when like it's more affecting other people, like him assault, like I don't know, whatever, he assaulted his niece or whatever, like I don't know, I just that's a little more where I just kind of just try not fuck with anything that he does,
Yeah.
if that
I don't
makes
know.
sense.
I feel like it's there's a gray area in there because in terms of enjoying it, I like to separate art from artist. Um, for example, one of my favorite movies is American Beauty, and the lead role is Kevin Spacey, who obviously is a terrible person.
Yeah.
But I him doing that on the outside of his acting career is not is should I like the movie less, you know? And does that make me a bad person if I enjoy that movie?
I don't think it makes you a bad person. It's just like you don't like because by you like I just feel like people like that. Well, obviously in that situation, Kevin Spacey, like he wasn't um like when that movie was made, nobody knew what was going on with him. If
Yeah.
that makes sense. So I think people have a problem with it now because like these allegations have been out for a while. So why is he still getting like he shouldn't be getting opportunities like this to direct movies.
Yeah.
That's
That's
why it's
another
like a
thing.
well,
Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you
like
gonna say?
that's why it's a bigger deal like now because he was given this opportunity with the like everybody knowing well what he's been accused of and what he's done. So that's why people have a problem with it as opposed to like what's Kevin Spacey most known for? What House of Cards?
Yeah, House of Cards,
House of
probably.
Cards and stuff like while
He
that
was
was
in
going on, like no one knew the stuff that he did, and as soon as they did, they killed. Didn't they kill him off, or like he got
yeah, or they
fired?
got rid
Yeah,
of his character for and
yeah,
apparently the show was terrible after that, but
yeah. But that's why I think it's a little different with this situation because like he like depending on how this movie does, he like if it does good, he's probably gonna get even more opportunities. And like
yeah.
they shouldn't really be giving people like that, opportunities in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I mean, not that like he's not established, but you know what I mean.
I find it weird in general because I'm pretty sure it's a movie for a big name studio, first of all, and second of all, look at this cast. It's insane. You have Christian Bale, Margot Robbie, even Taylor Swift is in it, and they're all
None of them
willing to work with this
care.
guy. So,
There we go. Like it's just they probably know it's a good script.
yeah, and I wanna see it. The movie's probably gonna be great, but I don't wanna contribute to this guy's success, you know? So it's
Yeah.
kinda finding that middle ground. Should I wait for it to not be in theaters and pirate it? Like, I don't know. I just it's a gray area, honestly. But are you think you're gonna see the movie or no?
Probably not. Just 'cause I mean, I saw the trailer actually today because I just never had a chance to watch it. It looks
Yeah.
good. It looks like it's gonna be a good movie. And I don't know, I just don't really like. I don't know. I don't want to see it. 'Cause it's gonna, if I go see it, then it's gonna help him. Like it benefits him.
Yeah, it's gonna put money in his pocket, basically.
Yeah. Like
But
it's
at
not
the
like I'm dying to see the movie. Like I'm sure eventually I'll watch it. Like when it comes to streaming or something. But
yeah.
like I'm not gonna go to the theaters and yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
the
pretty
only
sure it comes
problem
out the same weekend as Black Panther anyway.
oh, alright, yeah, so it's probably not making any money then. But, yeah, the only problem with that, though, is he's obviously a terrible person, but what about all the other people? This may be some people's first opportunity to work on a Hollywood film, even someone who does VFX, like, sound design, anything, and you're gonna not
Yeah,
see
but
it,
they're
you know?
not um like what they're getting, like they're not gonna make a like they're not gonna make money from um like from me going to see it. Like whatever they're getting, they got already. Like there's no one like directors and actors have like incentives. Well, mostly directors, I feel like, not really. Like
Yeah, not
they'll get
really actors, but
yeah, it's mostly
sometimes.
directors. Like if this movie makes whatever, like they'll get this X amount of money. So this like me seeing it directly correlates to how much money. Not you know what I mean, like the
Yeah.
public seeing it. Like as opposed to people with visual effects, usually they're hired. Like Warner, let's say Warner Bros. Will hire a VX company, and then that company pays their workers. Like it's not like Warner Brothers is paying the workers directly. It's like a third party.
Yeah, that's true, but let's say this movie comes out, everyone goes to see it, and it does great. Maybe those people who did the sound design or did the cinematography or whatever it may be are gonna get more like get better opportunities to expand their careers. And is it
It,
fair to not see it because one person involved has allegations, you know?
I mean, it's the main person too. It's the direct. It's not like it's like a random fucking like background actor or like stage person. Like it's literally the director. So that's why I think. I mean, and also he's known what he's done. Like the people that signed on to this, like they know that there's a risk that like people just won't see it because he's a garbage person.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, we don't know the full story, obviously. So if you want to look into that a
Yeah,
bit more and form your own opinion, just look up David O. Russell. And yeah,
yeah,
I guess we can move on from that. But I'll probably still end up seeing it, sadly. But yeah, anyways, another thing I wanted to talk about. I hate to keep talking about Marvel, but they're making an Echo show. And if you guys don't know who Echo is, I don't blame you. But in the Hawkeye show, they introduced this character named Echo, she's deaf, right?
yeah. She's deaf.
She's just a deaf crime fighter. I don't know if she's a superhero really, but she's getting her own show, and Charlie Cox is going to appear as Daredevil, as well as Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. So yeah, I mean, I was very excited about this because I don't know, I love Charlie Cox, and
Yeah,
I'm happy that
he's a
he's
good
coming
guy.
back.
Yeah, and Kingpin as well. I mean, I know that he was a little like weird, not weird, but different in Hawkeye than how he is in normally in Daredevil in the Netflix show. But I mean, it's cool and it's exciting that they're gonna come back. I don't know if you saw too. Like apparently, the plot line that they're gonna be with is like he's looking for Jessica Jones or something like that.
Yeah, that would be cool. I love Kristen Ritter too. So,
I saw like she's not gonna be in Echo, but she's mentioned, but she'll be in Daredevil because they're doing the Daredevil show.
yeah, I'm excited that that the Netflix shows are coming back because 'cause they're probably some of the best Marvel media
Marvel,
out
yeah.
there, especially Daredevil.
Besides Iron Fist, but everything else, yeah. And then they said, oh my god, he's also gonna be in She-Hulk too.
Yeah?
Daredevil.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean,
He's gonna be in it, and he's gonna wear the red and yellow costume,
yeah, that would be
and
cool.
then that he's gonna wear the black and red one in Echo, which I think is cool that they're giving him because he has a lot of like cool costumes, and they kind of use the same one in every
Yeah,
season on the Netflix show. So it'll be cool that they go like more into like comic book suits.
yeah, and for those of you who don't know, Daredevil is the guy, and if you're not big Marvel fans, I'm sure you still probably seen Spider-Man: No Way Home. He's the
Yeah.
lawyer that meets with Peter Parker in the beginning and then catches that brick through the window. So they teased him for a second, in case you were wondering what that was. But yeah, just I would check out the Daredevil show. It's on Disney Plus. It's
Oh yeah, definitely. If you haven't watched that, that's like arguably that and The Boys is probably like the two best superhero shows ever made.
yeah. And Kingpin is amazing in those. He
Yeah,
wasn't as
he's
well received in Hawkeye, but
yeah, he's absolutely ridiculous in them. Like he's just so menacing and like intimidating. Like I don't know if you remember the scene, Matt, where like I forgot why, but like something happens and like he like kills that guy, but like with the car door like slamming his head.
yeah,
I
I
think it's
think
the
that's in the
first
first.
season.
Yeah, that's the first episode. I think.
Yeah, like they just even from the gate, like they just open it up and he's just like just such like a fucking menace on screen.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So I'm excited for that. I kind of like the direction that Marvel's going with their Disney Plus shows. It seems like they're making more of an effort to have people appear in.
Yeah, like I don't know if you saw the thing with the thing.
Yeah, yeah, that's another one. I don't know if that's true, but apparently in the She-Hulk show, which comes out what next month,
Yeah,
they're gonna
actually a
have
month from today.
they're gonna have Jason Segel appear as the Thing from the Fantastic Four in that show. Which that's first of all, that's great casting if that's true, and second of all, that's so like comic booky and just I don't know. I would really like that if they did that, but what do you think?
Yeah, I don't. I've only really seen him in like comedies, so I don't really know how he is like uh, as an actor, like doing more serious stuff. Is he Jewish?
Um, I think so. I'm not too sure,
But I
but
mean, it's been pretty well received from like what people are saying. I heard like um, I also heard like apparently because you know how Kevin Feige is gonna apparently appear in She-Hulk.
yeah, wait, before you continue, I just
Yeah,
want
I'll explain it. Yeah,
yeah,
so in She-Hulk in the comics, she's kind of like the way Deadpool is, where like Deadpool breaks the fourth wall and like he'll talk to the audience and stuff. So She-Hulk actually did that first. She came up before Deadpool, and she in the comics a lot. She'll like talk to the audience and like break the fourth wall. So I don't know. I saw something that like at one point like they lose a battle and like she goes and talks to Kevin Feige and convinces him to make them win the battle instead. Like some like crazy
yeah,
shit like that. But so I also heard that like they may reveal the Fantastic Four cast through the She-Hulk show. Like so like cuz they'll introduce him and then she's going to talk to him and he'll just say like who's playing who,
yeah.
which would be
That
kind
no,
of
that would be cool. Yeah. No, what
interesting.
I was gonna say is you kind of like for those of you who don't know why you asked if he's Jewish, it's because
Oh,
yeah, the Thing in the comics is a Jewish guy. So yeah, I don't just in case anyone was wondering why you were
yeah.
questioning that,
That probably
but
sound now that that probably sounded a little weird.
yeah. But yeah, I mean that would be cool. I don't know. I feel like even though she did break the fourth wall in the comics, if people see that, they're gonna be like, "Oh, Deadpool ripoff." Yeah,
No, I
because
mean, I don't think they're gonna do it in the style that Deadpool does it.
yeah,
Like I heard, like it's like very subtle in the beginning, and then as the show gets on, it gets a little more like crazy. Like she'll like look at the audience during a scene, like probably like that, and then as the show goes on, it'll be yeah,
yeah, and that would be cool. I don't really know too much about She-Hulk,
yeah,
but I'm kind of excited for that show.
yeah. I think it'll be. I mean, apparently there's gonna be a lot of fucking like cameos in it.
Hopefully, that's the type of shit that I love. So
Yeah, like Frogman is in it. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh yeah,
He's in the trailer. I don't like too much about him,
yeah.
but I like when they do like the cheesy fucking um like they can't be like that's why I like Doctor Strange and when Sam Raimi does all that like super like cheesy stuff in the movie. Like I love that shit. Like it's a comic book. It's supposed to feel cheesy.
Yeah, and I feel like no matter what, I'm still gonna probably enjoy most of what Marvel puts out.
Yeah.
But obviously, if something's bad, then I'll know it's bad. But yeah. All right. So moving on from Marvel, I don't know too much about this, but you wanted to talk about Nintendo, somewhat
What's that?
Nintendo.
I saved that for later because the movie I picked to watch it's gonna go into that.
Okay. Um, was there anything else notable in the news? I'm trying to think.
Um, let me think.
Maybe non-Marvel related. I got one. I got one. So for fans of The Boys, they announced the title of the spin-off series.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, I don't know if you
Oh, I
saw
didn't know
that.
that. No, I didn't see
It's
that.
called Gen V, and they announced the cast. And I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it filmed already, right? Or
Oh,
no? Or
really?
maybe it's either filmed or it's currently filming.
I know the plot of it, but I don't really know like. Does anybody like significant get cast? It's all kind of no name.
I think Arnold Schwarzenegger's son, I think, is in it.
Really, I didn't even know he
Yeah, but
acted.
besides that, it's pretty much randoms. But yeah,
That sounds
for
interesting.
that show, for people who don't know, it's kind of like My Hero Academia, right? And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's basically superheroes in college. So as offensive and crazy as The Boys is already, imagine that on like a college campus. It's probably gonna be pretty insane.
And then I heard like so it's like it's vaults like college, and then at the end they have like an NBA draft style like thing where they get picked on where they go.
Yeah. So someone will go to the 7 maybe.
Yeah, because they said that the season 3 is gonna lead directly into this new show. What is it called Gen V? You said,
Mhm.
and then Gen V is gonna lead into season 4.
Yeah, that'll be I mean, I hope it's good, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean it probably will be. It's the same. I'm assuming it's the same like people attached to the original one.
Yeah. I mean, at least there's definitely some crossover. I don't know if it's the same director or showrunner, but they definitely have some people from the same team behind that.
Yeah. Did they say when it's supposed to release?
I have no idea. It's probably information that's out there. I just don't know it off the top of my
Uh,
head. But
yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. Like
yeah,
I'm not thinking it's gonna be like a bad.
yeah.
But yeah,
I don't think there's any other notable news that's came out in the past 2
yeah.
weeks. But yeah,
So
so
you
I
want to?
guess we can move
Okay.
on
Oh, the Birdman.
to the movie I recommended last week. I don't know if anyone went to go see it or rented it or whatever, but it was Birdman, starring Michael Keaton, directed by Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu. And just to give a little synopsis, it's about this former actor played by Michael Keaton who in his earlier days played a superhero called Birdman in this universe. And then he kind of falls off and he tries to revitalize his career. He joins a small stage play to try to get some recognition and boost back his career up. So, Joe, what are your initial thoughts?
I loved it. It was probably honestly one of the best films I've ever seen.
Yeah,
And
it's one of my favorite films. Sorry, go ahead, finish up.
like, just I loved that, and the cast was fucking phenomenal. And it was the first movie that I've ever seen where like it's not. They make it seem like the movie is like one continuous shot. Like obviously there's cuts with that they just you edit it where you can't see, but like so the movie like starts in one scene and just like continues, and that's the whole movie. And
Yeah, there's no visible cuts.
yeah, like you don't see any cuts. So it was really interesting to see that. Um, I thought like it was you know like I knew it was going to be good. I've heard good things about it. Keaton's phenomenal, and it was kind of interesting because it's kind of like him in real life, with
Yeah,
Batman when he because after Batman he didn't really get any big roles or anything, right?
yeah, at least for a little bit. Yeah, if you
I mean
for those of you who
now,
don't know, yeah, Michael Keaton in real life played Batman when he was younger, and then kind of fell off after, and it's kind of why he's perfect for the role.
yeah, I know. What's your- who's the other guy in it?
Edward Norton.
Yeah, he was phenomenal too. He was honestly my favorite character. He
Yeah,
was just like such a dickhead, which I had no idea he was like
yeah,
that talented of an actor.
yeah. He's awesome. I mean, he's in a bunch of Tarantino stuff, I think, but he was also the Hulk.
Yeah,
That's
and
probably
that's the
that.
only thing
Yeah,
I remember him from.
yeah, and he's kind of known in Hollywood to be like an asshole on set, so he
Oh,
also
really?
kind of plays himself a little bit, or not an asshole, but kind of hard to work with. It's over exaggerated in this a lot, but
Yeah,
yeah, I thought that was interesting. Yeah, and the one cut thing, it's just like the camera work's incredible.
yeah.
It's honestly
That's some of the
amazing.
best. Probably honestly the best camera work I've ever seen in a film,
Yeah, and I know there's other films out there that look like they're one continuous take,
but probably not
but
as good as this.
yeah, this won Best Picture when it was released, and I'm pretty sure Inarritu won Best Director. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, I
Um,
mean
what
it's
was your favorite scene in the film?
all right. My favorite scene was when Edward Norton and Emma Stone's characters like come down after they just hooked up or whatever.
Hmm.
Michael Keaton's character, I think his name is like Regan or something, but he sees them and he's like, "Shit," like, whatever. Then he gets a cigarette, goes to the
Oh,
back of the
yeah.
stage door, and this is also in the middle of the play going on. So he's about to be on stage. Then he has to go take a cigarette and ends up getting locked out. So he has to run around in his underwear. So he's wearing a robe through Times Square and back around to the front of the theater to come back in and then perform his scene walking in from the back of the theater. The scene he did a phenomenal job acting it, and what I also liked about it is they actually filmed that on location in Times Square. They went there at like 3, 4 a.m. just so that not many people would be there, and they brought all their extras in and filmed it, which I thought was
I
interesting.
didn't know that. I thought
Yeah,
they just filmed like in them.
yeah, no, it's cool. That was an awesome scene. I thought. I don't know what about you?
Probably. I don't know. I like when like he tries to kill himself, but he's on top of the building and he
Hmm.
like jumps. Well, not jump, and he starts like flying through the city. And Birdman's
Yeah,
talking to him. I thought that was a really cool scene. And there's a scene where like it's not really an important scene. It's like when he buys whiskey from that liquor store. Like I don't know why, but the way like the store is with the lights, like it just looked really cool.
yeah, yeah.
But definitely
And
probably him flying through the city.
yeah, that scene. I want to talk. Once we're done talking about everything else, I want to talk about what you thought about the ending, and that scene could kind of be
Yeah.
talked about. But yeah. Well, another thing I liked was I don't know if you noticed, but the sound design was also incredible. The whole movie that you hear like these drums in the background, kind of
Yeah.
like making you feel, I guess, like anxious a little bit, maybe uneasy. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, yeah.
Throughout the whole movie, there's these drums being played in the background. They actually incorporated it into one of the scenes. I don't know if you remember when right before he goes to get a drink with Edward Norton's character, they walk out and you hear the drums like the whole movie, but then they turn to the side and the camera pans and there's a guy outside playing the drums. And
Oh
it's
yeah,
kind of
actually I do
remember
remember
that?
that.
Well, I thought
Yeah.
that was a cool scene.
Yeah. I
Um,
did like that scene. So
yeah.
did you want to talk about the ending?
Nah, I still have a bunch of other stuff that that I wanted to go over. But I thought it was very funny too. I don't know if you
Yeah,
found.
it was like real world humor. Like it wasn't like I don't know. Like it sounded like how people actually talk in the real world. I like when
Yeah,
films do that. Like the
and
script was really good because it just feels like regular people talking. Like it doesn't feel like it's for like it just feels like this is something that could happen normally on like the set of a play, like the way they interact with each other.
yeah. And what makes it funny, it's not like they're cracking jokes every 5 seconds. It's kind of like the situations that the characters get
Yeah,
themselves
yeah.
in and just how they react. One scene in
Yeah.
particular, I don't know if you remember when I forget why, but Michael Keaton's character and Edward Norton's character get into like a fight, and then Michael Keaton starts like breaking down, like, "Oh, the reason why I do this is because
Oh, it's his dad
my
whacked him
my
or something.
dad used to beat me when I was a kid." And then he was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I'm just kidding. I can act too." I thought that was mad funny,
Yeah.
but yeah. Also, I thought another good part was when he finds Emma Stone's weed. She was like smoking or something,
Oh, and he hits
and
it. Yeah.
no, no, no. She goes on this like huge rant. She starts screaming at him. I thought that was a great scene. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Um,
No, and then doesn't he light it again at the end?
does he? I don't remember.
I think he does.
Maybe you might be right, but also there was a lot of references to real world stuff in there. Um, remember when they're talking about who they can get to be in the play, and he's listing off these actors, and he's like, "Oh, how about Jeremy Renner?" And the
If
guys,
he can
and
Avenger, yeah.
yeah. Also, what did you think of Zach Galifianakis' character?
He was great. I thought he was really good.
Yeah,
I
because
never
it
like
was
honestly I haven't really seen him in anything besides like The Hangover.
yeah, and it's kind of a comedic role, but not really. It's
Yeah,
also
it's more like a
serious.
serious, yeah.
Yeah, I
Is he
completely
in
forgot about
anything
him.
else, like, really? Yeah.
He definitely is. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Why did you think he was able to move stuff with his mind?
I think that's more just, like, inside his head, how he's viewing it. Like, I don't think he actually moves stuff with his mind.
Yeah.
'Cause you notice how every time he moves stuff with his mind, he's alone. He's
Yeah,
never, like,
that's
he's never
true.
around anybody.
That's a good point. Yeah, and yeah, I don't know. That's a good point. Like the scene where he's smashing stuff and then Zach
Yeah.
Galifianakis' character
Walks
walks
in,
in,
yeah.
then he's like smashing it with his hands, where a
Yeah.
second ago he was using his mind.
Just staring at the wall, yeah.
Yeah. Um all right, I want you to guess the budget of this because I have it, and I want you to guess how long it took to shoot.
The budget may be, like, 15,000,000, 10,000,000,
Hmm.
and then how long it took to shoot?
Yeah.
Probably, like what, is it days, months?
Just what do you think? Like typical movie shooting
I
periods.
feel like it's probably gonna take a while, like 8 months?
Okay. All right, the budget you were almost spot on. It was 16.5 million, which is
Okay,
for what they accomplished is nothing
right, yeah,
compared to Marvel films. I think Thor $200 million budget or
200,000,000, yeah.
something. It. They filmed the entire movie and edited it in less than a month.
What? Really?
Yeah. I think they
How?
shot the whole thing in like 17 days. I could be off by a little bit, but I know it was definitely less than a month.
Is that even possible? I figured, like, with the like, I don't know, with the scene like, the ways the scenes were, like, it probably took mad long, like, to reshoot a bunch of shit.
Yeah, because if you think about how hard it is to get, because
Perfectly get yeah,
since they don't want to cut anything, you have to have these scenes going on for like 10, 15 minutes straight. No
yeah.
one can mess up, and then people have to walk in and out of frame at perfect times. There's just so much coordination.
What so when it came out, how long were they, like, anticipated to take for, uh to film? Because like, if they finished early, I'm sure people would have thought that was, like, weird.
Yeah,
But
I
they just
honestly have no idea. Um, I'm not sure. I know the year that it came out, it won Best Picture, so people loved it. But I don't know if there was much expectations going into it in terms
yeah, I
of
feel like it
that.
was yeah, that's true.
And before I really got into movies or anything, I had heard of Birdman before, but I kind of
I
thought
heard of
it
it
was
too, but I
I thought
didn't
it
know
was a
what it was.
superhero movie, you know?
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought it was, like, a more serious, like, super
And it kind of looks like it,
yeah,
but also Birdman's costume is cool. I can't
yeah,
even lie. But yeah, you know that Birdman's voice is based off uh Christopher Nolan's Batman voice. It's kind of like a joke about that.
really?
Yeah, there's a lot of like small Easter eggs to other Batman stuff. Also, I don't know if you remember, this is like a small scene in the movie. Galifianakis mentions that um, Keaton's character got replaced by George Clooney as Birdman, and in real life, George Clooney
Oh
played
yeah, I do
Batman
remember that, actually.
after Keaton. So I thought that was funny. Just like little stuff like that, attention to detail stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I loved it. I don't know what else to say. It's one of my
Yeah, I
favorite
give it five
movies.
stars. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a 5 star for me. I hope everyone watched it because it honestly
You're
you
not gonna.
wouldn't want to
Yeah, it's
miss
not
out.
gonna. Yeah.
But yeah, all right. I guess we could kind of talk about the ending because I have a theory for the ending, which changed. This is the second time I've seen it. So I originally had one theory and now I have another. So I kind of want to hear what you think about the ending.
I don't think he died. I think it's just like. So let me explain. Like for people that haven't seen the movie or that like aren't gonna plan on watching it or just want to listen. So basically, throughout the film, like he always like is getting like the character of Birdman is speaking to him throughout the film, and he keeps like just saying like I don't know, he didn't really tell him to kill himself, but like he just right.
No, yeah, so his character, let me just I keep calling him Michael Keaton. I want to look up the character's name. Oh, it's Regan. The character's name is Regan.
Speaking.
So Regan is trying to different or set himself apart from this Birdman character. But the whole movie, Birdman, the character is speaking to Regan, telling him like, "Oh, you need me. You have to come back and be Birdman again. Be Birdman again." He's kind of just talking to him throughout the whole movie. So I don't know if that's a representation of mental illness or I don't know. What did you think?
Um, I thought it was. I mean, yeah, there was actually. Now that you mention it, like there's a big emphasis on mental health in the film, and you kind of see him deteriorate as he gets closer to the play. And
Yeah,
I feel like it's kind of asking the question, like he becomes successful at the end, but like at what cost? Because he almost killed himself basically on stage. Like you could see him losing his mind.
yeah,
Um, but as far as what I think for the ending, like
yeah. So yeah, what were you gonna? You were trying to
so
explain something to everyone. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but yeah, so the at the end, so in the play like that he's in, there's a scene where he has to shoot himself in the head. So the night that the what is it, the
Yeah, the
reviewer
opening night or
opening
whatever.
night, like he has a real gun and he shoots his nose off. He tries to kill himself on stage, and he survives. And like after when he wakes up, like everybody loves the play. Like they're like, oh, like we're gonna run. Like he basically gonna like he got his break. He's gonna start getting roles again.
Yeah,
And he wakes up and opens the window, and then like you don't see him, and then
he's in a
like his
hospital, by
he's
the
in a
way.
hospital, yeah. And his daughter comes in and like looks out the window and like looks up and like smiles, and then the movie ends.
Yeah.
So like it's kind of I personally think that like that's just like I think he's still alive. I think that's just like him kind of like being like he got what he wanted. So now like he's just I
Mhm.
don't know. I don't know now.
Yeah,
Now the
so
more that I think about it, it's
it's
weird.
implied that he jumps out of the window
Yeah.
at the end. And then when Emma Stone comes back in, who's his daughter, she instead of looking down where he would have killed himself, she looks up and smiles.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a power it's a that's a great shot to end on, honestly. But
Oh yeah.
so yeah, so you think that what did you think that meant then, if you don't think he died?
That like in his I don't know. I'm trying to explain it. Like it's supposed to be hit like I guess him like in real life, like because he's succeeding. Like I guess like
Mhm.
I don't know. He has that success he had when he was Birdman, so he I don't know. Now that I think about it more, like I have no idea.
Yeah. There's a couple different theories. I'll talk about a few of them quickly, but then I'll go over what I think
Yeah.
lastly. So some people think that when he shot himself on stage, he actually did kill himself. And the scene in the hospital is kind of like his perfect ending before fully passing. Because his daughter loves him again. He's successful now. He basically gets everything he wants. And that's kind of just like his perfect ending. It's not real. But then when he jumps out, that's him passing up. to heaven or whatever it may be. That's one theory, which is plausible, but there are some flaws in it. There's another theory that the scene where he originally jumps off the roof and flies as Birdman, he killed himself then, and then everything else after that is in his head before he's dying. Which that's what I originally thought the first time I watched it. I kind of thought when he jumped off the building the first time, that's when he died. Because the rest of the movie is kind of a bit outlandish, like killing himself on stage, you know?
Yeah.
But there is one small detail, which is that when I don't know if you picked up on this, but when he jumps off and he flies to the stage, whatever, he lands and runs in the theater. There's a taxi guy outside that's like, "Oh, you forgot to pay me. You didn't pay me." So it's kind of implied that he actually took a taxi there and didn't fly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So
yeah. Actually, now that I think about it,
yeah, there's a lot of small things that sort of
yeah.
clue you in on what's actually going on. But
Yeah.
this is the second. All right, so yeah, what do you did any of those maybe make a little more sense to you than what you originally thought, or?
Um, I don't know. I don't think he killed himself if he did kill himself, it probably was at at uh at the play that last night. Like I don't think he killed himself when he first like was flying through the city.
Mhm. Yeah. All right, so what I think happens relies on maybe less than 10 seconds of stuff that happens in the film in total. There's very, very small details that you can easily miss, and I missed them the first time I watched it. So in the movie, there's a scene where Regan, I think, is either talking to his ex-wife or his daughter. And I don't know if you picked up on this, but he mentions that earlier in his life, he tried to kill himself by walking out into the ocean.
Oh,
And
his daughter or him? I'm sorry.
he did. He tried to kill himself by walking out into the ocean and drowning himself. But he kept getting stung by these jellyfish, so he was just getting in so much pain from them that he was like, fuck it, like I'm not drowning myself and dying out here. So he swims back to shore and he ends up surviving. Now, this happens within maybe 10 seconds. He mentions this, and it's so easy to miss. So at the end of the movie, he shoots himself, right? Supposedly, whatever. He shoots himself in the face, and it comes up on screen for a second. This image of jellyfish washed up to shore on a beach. So why would they include that? You know,
Yeah.
I think that what that's saying is it's giving us a little hint that when he tried to kill himself that day, there were no jellyfish in the water. They were all washed up. So he actually did kill himself.
Uh,
So the whole movie is him having this last dream before finally dying of sort of coming to terms with his life and his career. And it's all made up. That's why he can move stuff with his mind. That's why he could fly, because the whole entire movie is a dream.
yeah. That honestly, that kind of makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and that's also why I think they decided to shoot the whole thing in one take, because it feels more dreamlike.
Yeah.
In a dream, it's kind of all just this
One.
big
Yeah.
one take. There's no cuts, you know?
Yeah.
And that just explains a lot of the story to me. And there's just the reason why I think this has to be the right interpretation is why would they include that shot of the jellyfish for a second? You know?
Yeah. That makes sense.
There's no other reason why that would be in there. But yeah, it's a crazy theory, but it does make sense. And I feel like at
That
him
makes a
at
lot of
the,
sense.
him at the end when he jumps out the window is him finally getting the acceptance of his daughter. And he jumps out, she looks up, he's finally passing over into the
Yeah.
next life.
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
So
I honestly, I think that's true. Like, especially too, like with him, quote unquote, flying. Like at the end, it's him just passing.
yeah. Yeah, but there's so many that's not necessarily true, you know, there's so many different ways to look at it,
No,
and
yeah, I know.
that's what makes the movie so good, you know? I don't know if
Yeah,
the director ever came out and said, "Oh, this is the correct way to look at it," but yeah. There's also one other thing which I don't know if you noticed. What did you think that meteor was? Remember,
What
it's like
meteor?
the first shot of the movie, it shows a meteor crashing down. I don't know if you remember it.
Honestly, I don't remember.
So the first shot of the movie, if you rewatch, if you watch the movie start from the beginning, the first shot is a meteor crashing down, and then after he shoots himself, it shows the meteor again. So what do you think that is?
I don't know. I have to honestly, I have to rewatch it. I feel like I don't remember that scene.
Yeah, you'll probably pick up on more stuff if you rewatch it, but yeah, I kind of thought that it represented just stardom, kind of how
Mhm.
it burns bright and then it eventually crashes,
Crashes in front, yeah.
and that's kind of what I thought it meant. But I feel like what is the purpose of putting that in? There has to be a reason, and how does it connect to the bigger story? You
Yeah.
know, there's a lot of stuff to be discussed with that in general. Did you have a favorite scene though?
I mean those two I mentioned before, but I also like the scene where he gets like drunk and falls asleep and he wakes up the next day. And he's like walking and like Birdman's behind him.
Oh yeah,
I really like that scene
I
too.
forgot if I asked you what your favorite scene was already, but did I or no?
Yeah, yeah, he did.
Oh my bad.
You're good.
All right.
No, but that's an I was just from talking about it, I remember that scene too.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, and then what do you think was your favorite character from it?
Edward it was Edward Norton, right?
Yeah,
Him, his character. Just because
yeah,
like he was just like such a dickhead. Like he doesn't care about anything.
I know. Mine's probably a tie between him and Sam, who's Emma Stone's character. I thought she was amazing in it too. And it's kind of different from what Emma Stone usually plays. She's kind of like disheveled a little bit. She's not like like a pretty girl, I guess,
Yeah, yeah.
you know? But the acting all around, there's no complaints. It's all
Oh
excellent.
yeah, no, everyone does a phenomenal job at it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't have much else to say. I don't think that's one of my
Yeah.
favorite films. And if you haven't seen it already, definitely would recommend go check it out. Just want to
Oh
check if
yeah.
I had anything else to say about it that I'm forgetting because I wrote a couple things down. Mm, mm, mm. No, actually, yeah, I think that's it. So
You
yeah,
you want to talk
so
about the Nintendo? Because that's gonna lead into my movie recommendation.
okay, yeah, we could do that. Go ahead.
So, um, I feel like a lot of recently with the success of like Sonic, more video game movies are getting adaptations. Like God of War is gonna get a TV show, and what's the other one? Horizon, right?
Horizon, yeah, I never played that game,
I
but
never played that, but so Nintendo recently purchased like an animation studio, and they didn't announce it yet, but it's implied that they're gonna open like a Nintendo studio, so they're gonna start producing their own films. And honestly, they have like so many like just what is it? There's like franchises that like can make good movies, good stories.
yeah,
Like I know like Legend of Zelda is the one that comes up with. Like I know like what is it? Breath of the Wild
yeah,
is like apparently one of the best games ever made, and people always say how it should be made into a film.
yeah.
Even
I mean,
like Luigi's Mansion that I used to love as a kid, like they made that into an animated movie, like that would be really good.
yeah, it would. They have a bunch of stuff they could do. They could do Pokemon,
Pokemon,
Mario,
yeah.
Samus, whatever. Like,
There's
um,
so much shit. I mean, they have the Mario movie coming out in uh, what is it? December, April, I think. I think it was December. It's coming out. But like,
yeah,
I feel like if they
that's
get the
made
right people
by
behind it, they could really make like good films.
yeah, that one's Illumination though, right?
Yeah,
Who
that's
does
Illumination.
they do Despicable Me?
Despicable Me, like Secret Life of Pets,
There better be a Minion cameo in that.
probably will. But I think like especially because I'm a big Pokemon fan, like I feel like they would. There's so much shit they could do. Like there's just stories of the games and stuff. Like I
Yeah,
don't know why they never like attempted to do it. Like I know they had with Netflix. Netflix was originally going to do like a Legend of Zelda like TV show, but like it got leaked out that like they were in talks with Nintendo, and as soon as it got leaked, like Nintendo like pulled out of everything. Like they're
Really?
really weird the way that yeah, they're very weird the way they do like handle their franchises. I know like they're doing a Pokemon like a couple shows, I think. I think they're doing one with like um the storyline of Mystery Dungeon, which I haven't played in years. I don't really remember what that is. They're doing like a regular show, and then they're doing one with like who are the Team Rocket people? You know those two like
Isn't it like Jesse and James or something?
Jesse James and then like that Pokemon. Like they're gonna do a show with them, I think too.
Or
But
wait,
going
are you gonna recommend your movie?
yeah. So
Because I forgot. You want to do the questions first or recommend it first, and then we'll just answer some questions.
we could do questions first.
Actually, now since you're talking about this Nintendo, just recommend it right now. And
So
then,
the movie I haven't seen this movie. So with all the Nintendo news, the movie I'm gonna recommend this week is Detective Pikachu
oh,
with
okay.
Ryan Reynolds. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
I haven't seen it either. I mean, I know like I've seen like the way the Pokemon look and stuff, and they look like decent. And I like Ryan Reynolds is like fine. I mean, he's a good actor.
Yeah,
And
he's all right.
yeah, I know
Besides,
the well,
besides when he's in Blade 3 and is probably the worst, most annoying character I've ever seen in a movie.
Thing
But
when I
yeah.
turned actually honestly he wasn't that bad in that film.
All right, yeah. So
Um,
that's a good one.
and I
Detective
know
Pikachu.
what's her name? What's his name? The guy from Jurassic World. Uh, the,
Oh
he's
yeah,
I forgot.
Justice Smith.
Yeah, he's the main actor. So I've heard mixed things about him, but I don't know if the movie's good or bad. Like I'm just interested to see because it's the first live action Pokemon like attempt
Yeah.
ever, and I've heard like mixed things. I heard some people say it's good. I've heard that people say it's awful. So I'm interested to see what I'll think of it.
All right. Yeah, that's a good one. I've been meaning
Yeah,
to watch that at some point, but I really had no reason ever to. So
yeah.
at least now I have a reason to watch it.
Just to watch it. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So before we wrap up, let's just answer a couple questions from our loyal fans. Even though we got like no questions this time because people were slacking, I guess. Let's see. Um, one from Peyton again. Peyton, thanks for the questions. You're really keeping this podcast afloat. It's a good one. Do you think Rotten Tomatoes is always accurate about a movie?
No.
Yeah, I would agree. No. And do you have any examples you could think of right now?
Um, top of my head, but I know there's definitely been films that like I really enjoyed that got horrible reviews.
Yeah, and one that I could think of is this might piss some people off, but Black Panther, 96% Rotten
Yeah, no,
Tomatoes.
yeah, no way it's wrong. It should be in the 80s.
Yeah, that's actually ridiculous. It's like the
Yeah.
highest rated MCU movie.
Not a Marvel movie, yeah. Now Miss Marvel is the highest rated
Yeah,
MCU book.
but
Well, honestly, Miss Marvel is really good. In terms of
yeah,
writing, like it might be the best writing they've
uh,
ever had, but
dude, you can't tell me Miss Marvel's better than Infinity War. Like,
no, obviously, like you know what like
yeah,
in terms of like I guess script and stuff. Like it is really good. Like I didn't expect it to be good at all. I thought I was gonna hate it, but
yeah. Um, but yeah, for those of you who don't know exactly how Rotten Tomatoes works or what it is, it's just this website that critics go on to rate movies and it gets a score on Rotten Tomatoes out of a percentage. So 100% perfect score, obviously, and then most stuff in the 90s is like excellent. So people tend to think that it means like how you would take a test if you have a 95%, like you got a 95. The movie has like a 95 out of 100, but that's not actually how it works. Um, how it works is when you give a review, it's either fresh or rotten. So the percentage is the amount of fresh reviews. So if 95% of people gave it a fresh and 5% of people gave it a rotten, then it's going to be a 95. Now the problem with that is this. If you have a movie, let's say 100 people see it and 99 of them give it a 10 out of 10, and one of them gives it a 4 out of 10, it's gonna be a 99. If you have another movie that 100 people give it a 7 out of 10, it's gonna be 100. So which movie's better? You know?
Yeah.
That's why it's kind of flawed. So very mediocre movies have higher scores. But yeah, I don't think it's that reliable, but people flock to it and use it as examples of movies being good or bad.
I feel like honestly, Letterbox is like more accurate to
Yeah.
how people actually like, you know,
Yeah.
because like a perfect example will be because I'm trying to rewatch all the Godzilla movies. Is like the Godzilla movies, like especially the newer ones, like they get ripped apart in reviews because like they're like, oh, like the characters are boring, blah blah blah, like all this shit. But like meanwhile, you're not watching it for fucking the characters. You're watching it for the fight scenes and stuff. So like they're a lot higher rated on Letterboxd because like people enjoy like kaiju's kicking the shit out of each other. Like no one's there like for like and you watch it for what it is.
Yeah.
Like I feel like on Rotten Tomatoes they just like they view it as like a film. Like it's supposed to be
Yeah.
like this, like you know what I mean?
And it's kind of like a popularity contest a little bit on Rotten
Yeah.
Tomatoes, you know? I also prefer Letterboxd when it comes to reviews. There are some on there that are inflated or deflated a bit, but for the most part, that's probably the most
Pretty
accurate.
accurate, yeah.
Um, yeah, so I personally don't trust Rotten Tomatoes, but yeah, thanks for the question, Pete. Let's see. One from Tom Lieberman. If you're watching this, thanks for the question. What are your favorite plot twists in movies? Yeah, I have a couple, so I don't know if you have any, or you want to think for a sec.
I can't think of anything on the top of my head.
One, well, first of all, Arrival. The plot twist that I don't want to spoil Arrival, but the way that they explain how Amy Adams' character knows certain things, that twist with the aliens and their language is probably the best twist I've ever seen in a movie. One that often gets overlooked, and I think you'll agree with me on this, is so you have Avengers Infinity War, right? They build up this whole thing that, oh, Thanos just killed half the world. He's so powerful. He has all these stones. Like, what are they going to do in the next movie? How are they going to beat him? The movie starts in Endgame. Everyone goes to the theater. Movie starts. First 10 minutes, Thanos dies, gets his head chopped off
Oh yeah.
immediately. I feel like that was such a great plot twist because who would have predicted that? You know?
Forgot about that. Yeah, I remember like sitting in the audience. Or even like I mean Infinity War you kind of knew he was gonna but like when Thor like hit him with that like hit his arm, like I thought like they won. Like I thought they would like that Avengers fought 4 was gonna be like because you know there were rumors like it was gonna be two different villains
Yeah.
at one point. Like people thought like maybe a nihilist was gonna pull up, and I was like, oh shit, like they're gonna do like another villain for Avengers 4 because I thought he killed him. And then they ended up
Yeah.
like snapping. I was pretty like surprised. I mean, not surprised, but like I was I don't know because like you kind like you had an idea that it would happen, but like when they show the scene of like him um like him get like almost killed by Thanos, I thought like oh shit.
Yeah. Also, any Nolan movie, honestly.
Yeah,
Interstellar has a great plot twist. Especially that scene where they go down to the planet and it's only like what, 2 hours and they come back up and the other dude on the ship had aged like 30 years or something. That was a cool twist. Um Memento, that has a great twist. Let me think. One that I haven't actually no, never mind. That's not even a plot twist.
but
But yeah, no, I was thinking of something else. But yeah, another one that I like, even though people obviously don't like these, the Saw movies, they always have the dumbest plot twists in them, but they're like so campy and stupid, and I love them. Um,
I haven't like
they
I'm
always just like somehow make Saw the guy John Kramer, who's he's like Jigsaw. They always just make him survive somehow, even if he's just like killed on screen in the movie previous. They find some plot device that will make him live, and it's just so funny how stupid it is.
yeah.
But Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, tons of movies have good plot twists, but I don't know. What do you think, Joe? Is there anything else?
Um, I mean, like obviously we weren't around for this, but like Darth Vader being Luke's father is probably one of the like
Yeah,
biggest ones known. I mean, because obviously we grew up knowing that, but if you were like growing up when Star Wars first came out, you that probably fucking blew your mind.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I can't really think of anything else,
I mean,
but
there's stuff in animes that I watch, but like that's a little different.
you can mention it. There's probably some anime fans listening.
I mean, like Marineford with Ace Nine. Oh, this is One Piece. So like, there's a battle of like so basically they capture this the main character's brother and all these pirates pull up to this marine base to save him and there's this thing in the show called like a hockey like I forgot what it's called. There's a certain type of hockey that like only like the most elite like strongest pirates in the world have it and like it has to be activated by like moments of stress or like it don't like you don't can like you can control it, but like when you activate it, like you don't know you're doing it. It just happens. So like there's a scene where like um they're gonna kill his brother, and the main character just like screams and like he activates his hockey, and like the scene like I can't really explain what it is. It's kind of just like this like power and like it causes everyone that's like weaker than him to faint.
Mhm.
So like the guards like that are about to kill him, like they're about to like cut off his head. They both like fall to the ground. Like and there's like a huge battlefield. Like all these people fall. Like it's a really cool scene, and like I didn't expect that at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's cool if you love One
Yeah.
Piece, but yeah,
If you don't watch One Piece, you have like no idea what I'm talking
one
about.
more that I want to mention is The Prestige by Christopher Nolan. That is also, now that I just thought of that one, that's probably one of the
I
best
haven't
plot twists
seen
I've
it.
ever seen. And I'm not gonna say what it is, but when it's revealed at the end, it's well, there's actually multiple huge plot twists in that. So yeah, I would recommend that movie if you guys want a good plot twist. Let me see. Maybe we got one more question we could do before we wrap things up. Richie Runfola. Is there any chance of a Nelk collab on the next pod?
We should invite them on.
What do you say?
We should invite them on or ask them to do a Nelk
I've been
movie.
hitting up Steve will do it, but he's not
Yeah,
answering me. Cause I had this
we got
idea
you
that
back.
we could shotgun to start. Just a shotgun on the mic to start the podcast.
Yeah,
And then like make NFTs after and sell them. That would probably
that's
be
a,
dope. And Nelk would love that.
that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah. But no, in all seriousness, we do actually want to have guests on. So we're still trying to figure it out because
Yeah,
when we started this, we had to buy microphones because our normal audio was shit. So it's kind of hard to get people on if they don't have a mic. But yeah, if you're interested and think you'd have something nice to contribute to our conversations, maybe we'll start having some guests on here. It could be
yeah,
fun and spice things up.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's about all we got today. For one other thing, for next week's episode, Joe, I'm assuming you're gonna go see this, but besides Detective Pikachu, we're also most likely gonna be talking about Nope by Jordan Peele, which comes
Yeah.
out this Friday. So for next episode, I would try to go see Nope, try to watch Detective Pikachu if you can, so that you can contribute to the conversation,
Yeah.
not get spoiled.
I'm assuming
So
most people are gonna see no. I'm actually pretty excited about it.
yeah, it looks cool. So yeah, and we'll also talk about Comic Con. Marvel has a panel that's an hour
Oh
long,
yeah.
so
So
there's
I don't
definitely
yeah, the next probably we might have the like the Fantastic Forecast. Like there's probably gonna be a Black Panther trailer. We're gonna have a lot to talk about.
yeah, we'll have a shit ton to talk about. So yeah, I guess that's it.
That's it.
If you're still here, thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
See you guys in 2 weeks.